What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Sono lieto di poter rievocare in poche parole le esperienze delle prime trasmissioni radiotelegrafiche a grandi distanze da me felicemente eseguite attraverso l'Oceano Atlantico il 12 dicembre 1901.
Holy snapping bra straps.
It's a podcast. Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours Avalon Standard Time.
Hi, I'm Brendan Toland from County Donegal, Ireland. I'm here as a member of the St. John's GAA Club and I'm welcoming you to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
The best radio in the whole wide world.
You're with the roar.
Republic of Avalon Radio. You are with the roar, and I am Jim Fiddler, and you are you. And you are there, or here. Obviously. If you weren't, you wouldn't be hearing me now, and I probably wouldn't waste my time saying it. But then again, you never know. You never know what you might end up with in your cornflakes some morning. So, in any case, yes, this is Republic of Avalon Radio, and this is episode number 103. Well into the hundreds here now. Just the whole 100 thing is all humdrum sort of stuff now at this point. But we're very glad to be here with you for episode 103. Kind of getting back to a little bit of normalcy. That big 100 episode, and the last episode, we've gotten all kinds of great feedback about episode 102. A lot of people really enjoyed that. Some great comments about the songwriter circle, especially. And some people who'd never heard Jim Payne before really appreciated the song he did about all the animals and stuff. And some people who had never heard Carla Pilgrim ever before really got turned on to her. So that's a very good thing. As I said in episode 102, that's what we dig, especially around here, is being able to share music with you that you may never have heard before, and you may never have found ever, just left to your own devices. You might not have stumbled into this stuff, and we just dig it out and make it available for you. That's a wonderful thing about the Roar that I particularly dig. So there you have it. It's chilly. The coolness of fall is kicking in. The autumn is here, and all the leaves are brown, and the sky is grey, and all that kind of jazz. And all kinds of trick-or-treating is going on as I speak. This is the October 31st edition, episode 103. So it's kind of Halloween business going on. All sorts of paganistic rituals taking place all over the world, no doubt. Basement human sacrifices and things like that. All that kind of fun stuff. But for the most part, I think all any of us really see is the, trick-or-treaters and things like that. And some strange decorations in some pubs and various public places and things like that. So, yeah, we don't really bother much with it, this Halloween stuff. We got a bunch of yummies out there for the kids, The kids are coming and knocking on the door and ringing on the bell just to see if we're well. And we're passing them out some stuff. We got some chips there, or crisps, or whatever you want to call them. Some kind of, I don't know what they are. Mother Earth friendly bio nature chips or some kind of whatever. Organic, sea salt, something. Anyway, it's all good. Don't get me wrong, folks. It's all wonderful, you know. I'm just, you know, just jaded on a lot of these kinds of things. All this green business and all this stuff. Guys on smokestacks telling people rubbing a couple of sticks together to try to start a little fire to keep their hands warm, that they're destroying the earth and stuff like that. I find kind of fascinating. I think I might have talked about that before a couple of times. My t-shirt idea is, boy, if somebody could do that for me. I've just been trying. I've been trying to get this t-shirt going, and just nobody's cooperating with me. A couple of people I've asked to kind of draw the little sketch that I want. It's not a complicated picture. All right, I'll put this out. This is a Roar challenge. See if somebody might be able to make this t-shirt for me. Up on top, there's a big smokestack with a kind of a patio deck coming off the side. And on the patio is a big tycoon CEO kind of guy, you know, smoking a cigar and drinking a martini, whatever. And he's wagging an accusing finger way down on the ground below, where there's just some kind of schmuck, you know, like you or me, down on our knees, rubbing two sticks together, trying to start a little fire to keep our hands warm. And he's just wagging this big accusing finger down at him. And the caption up on top, across the top of the chest, would read, "How green do you think we are?" That's my t-shirt. I would wear proudly if I only had it. So if anybody listening knows, if you're an artist, if you draw and you sketch and things like that, and if that concept kind of tickles your funny bone, and you might be able to be of some assistance in terms of getting me wearing this t-shirt, I'll wear it proudly. I'll tell everybody who did it. We'll take a photo of me wearing the t-shirt and put it up or send it to you or whatever. That's my little thing. If anybody could somehow help me out on that, that'd be wonderful. So, and Lillian, of course, does all the graphic design and everything. I think what we mainly need is the sketch. That's really more than anything. What we need is the drawing. You know, it doesn't have to be the full-blown finished t-shirt. It could just be the sketch. So any of you out there who are adept at things artistic in the visual sense, who could possibly draw this up for me, I would definitely appreciate it. So there you have that. What else is going on? I'm just thinking here off the top of my head as usual. I don't have any notes or anything like that. It's all spontaneous around here. That's just the way we like to do things. Couple of little items. I have things on the way to me. It's always exciting when you're waiting for the doorbell to ring every moment of every day for that UPS or FedEx or Post or whatever the heck it is. And we've got a few things coming. We've got the H1 that we've talked about before, the Zoom H1. That is on the way. Thanks to our good friend Kevin in Alabama, who we've been working with over the last weeks on a project of his, which we will be talking about at some point in the future here on The Roar. And it's been an absolute pleasure working with Kevin from both Lillian's and my perspective, and sort of just helping him out with his project. And part of the whole thing resulted, we couldn't get the H1 here. We were phoning the music store, and they kept saying it was going to come in the next day, and then the next week, and then the week after that, and just having no satisfaction. So this Zoom H1, in case you don't know what it is a little handheld recording device, kind of like what we use when we go out on our walkabouts, the Edirol, the Roland Edirol R09. Only this guy here is $99 instead of like $399, whatever. Does all the same kind of stuff. And it looks very easy to use. It has no menus. You don't have to go inside these menus and stuff. Just little switches and things on the outside of the unit that do everything you would ever want to do. And there's a record button, and you just touch that, and you're recording. And has built-in mics on the top, a little speaker built into it, so you can just make sure that your recording is actually, you can do a little test recording and listen back and go, okay, good, yeah, everything's fine. So we have that on the way. We're looking forward to that. And in the process, that means that we're going to take one of our R9s and get rid of it, sell it, as it were, because we don't need the 3 machines. We've got 2 R9s. We've got the R9 and the R9 HR. And now, of course, then we'd have the Zoom H1. So no need of the 3. So the first one that we recorded a whole lot of episodes, well, not a whole lot, several episodes of The Roar on the Eterel R09. We are going to be getting it out the door in some form or other, and kind of have a couple of people in mind. We've sort of mentioned it too. I don't know. If anybody's interested, let us know. And whatever they go for, it's in perfect condition. Brand new, full working condition. Nothing damaged, not scratched up, nothing. It's just a perfectly working recording device, handheld, portable recording device. The Eterel R09, in case you want to go and Google it, or Start Page, that's the one that we recommend, the search engine that we recommend generally, startpage.com. Have a look at it. If anyone's interested, just let us know. And whatever they're kind of going for, I don't know what they're going for on eBay or this, that, whatever. But whatever the going price is, that's we're not going to ask any more than that for it. And it might be kind of nostalgic, might be interesting for somebody to actually have the machine that Lillian and myself used to record those episodes of The Roar. It just might be interesting for somebody. So if you're interested at all, feel free to inquire. Go over to the website, republicofAvalonradio.com. Shoot us an email or whatever, and we can check that out. Also, I have a couple of sets of headphones on the way. A couple of sets of studio headphones. Tascam studio headphones that normally run about, I think, $75 each or something like that. And from the soundprofessionals.com, I think that's the website. It's either Sound Professionals or thesoundprofessionals.com. Ran into, I guess they kind of had a surplus of them, or somebody went out of business and had to get rid of a bunch of gear. And so I stumbled into a couple of pairs of these guys for like $9 each. Brand new. And of course the shipping is going to be more. It's going to cost me $50 for these couple of sets of headphones. But considering that it would have cost me $150 plus the shipping and all that, I'm still getting a very good deal. 2 sets of headphones for $50 is not bad. So looking forward to those arriving. Lots of reasons to listen for the doorbell and listen to every car coming up the road and all that kind of stuff. It's it can be somewhat frustrating, but you know that times are good when you're waiting for things to come in the post. You know that life isn't that bad. Things certainly could be worse. So the H1 is on the way. The headphones are on the way. What else? There's something else on the way. Oh yes, folks. We have also great thanks to Kevin in Alabama. We have, because we couldn't buy. I'm just trying to get it here. Just no end of frustration. Tried, the various stores that you would think you might be able to. Well, you should be able to find such a thing as this, and just nobody had it. And they said, "Oh, it's going to come in next week or tomorrow or whatever." Same old rigmarole as we had with the H1. So Kevin helped us out on that one as well, and we have the new Ipod Touch, the 4G 32 gig with all the extra stuff that the 4th generation iPod has, the cameras and built-in microphone and all the stuff, the higher resolution, and so looking forward to getting that. We'll tell you guys all about that when we receive these various items. I suppose we'll I don't know if we'll do unboxings necessarily, but for example, I think once the headphones come, I will be wearing them as I record these little bits here for the show. So you can know that once I have them, I'll mention it to you, and you can know that I'm wearing those new headphones. Thrill of a lifetime. And the H1, of course, as soon as we get that, we will be using that and recording and letting you know, and you can hear. And then you can go back and compare it to the R9, see if you can notice any difference in the overall sort of recording quality and the stereo field. The wideness of the stereo field. I think the H1 has a better stereo response than the R9, a wider stereo response. I do believe. That's what I hear, and I think that the circuitry is a little less noisy. Not to say that the R9 is noisy, just in absolute silence. The overall noise floor, I think, on the H1 would outperform the R9. So it's not a big picky deal when you're out rambling around talking and cars going by. It's not a big deal. You wouldn't really notice any difference. In fact, some people just probably wouldn't notice any difference, period. But there you have it. You can do your own little comparison once we get the H1 and the iPod. Well, I think we'll be kind of crowing about that when we get that. We'll be very happy to have that in hand. The new baby. And in the process, Kevin is actually getting the one that we have. I just sent the one that we had, the 3rd generation Ipod Touch, 32 gig. Sent it in. It was just being a little bit dodgy. Nothing serious, but it was under warranty, and I figured, well, what the heck, if I can get a brand new one before the warranty is expired, what if I can get a brand new one in hand? Why wouldn't I do such a thing? So, folks, I did it. I think the button, there's a little button on the bottom, a little home button. I could have just probably sprayed some compressed air on it, or maybe a little bit of contact cleaner, and it would have been fine. But I thought to myself, well, what the heck, get a new one. So Kevin's going to end up with that new one that I just received here last week, and we're going to get the 4th generation, and hopefully Kevin will be a happy camper too, because he has no such a device at this point, and within the next 2 weeks or so, he will actually have the brand new 3rd generation Ipod Touch, 32 gig Ipod Touch that I just received. So hopefully he'll be a happy camper, and there you have it. All right, not to ramble on too much about things, just to let you guys know that we're here and everything is going well, and fall is definitely kicking in the Republic of Avalon, and it's been a gentle autumn. We just harvested our tomatoes and stuff today, just figuring, well, we could probably chance it and stretch it out a little further, but I think it's a good decision that we made to, we picked all our tomatoes and stuff today, so we haven't had any frost yet. So October 31st, no frost, and tomorrow will be the 1st of November, obviously. I think we probably got the best out of this growing season that we possibly could. We were a bit late starting, and in fact the season was a bit late starting. The spring was a bit dodgy this year, and but it did extend out into the autumn as we thought it would. We generally have very, very nice late summer and autumns here, whereas May might suck pretty bad, but September's always nice, and October generally. Usually it cools off around now. That's what tends to happen. It can be 60 degrees on October 25th, and then it can be freezing Halloween night. That's just the way it tends to go around here. And this year wasn't going to be any different. So we're not going to take any chances. So we plucked all our tomatoes, and we got tons and tons of tomatoes in there. Now we have to figure out what to do with them. I think what we're going to do is maybe make some, like just stew them, bottle them or can them, as people say. I don't know why they call it canning when you're putting them in bottles. Do you call it bottling when you put them in cans? I don't know. And we don't even say cans around here. We call them tins. So we don't buy a can of soup. We buy a tin of soup. Or a tin of Pepsi or whatever. That's just a can of Coke, I suppose most people would say, but we call that a tin of Coke. And it's not even made of tin. So, not to say that we're right or more accurate or anything. We're just as out to lunch really as anybody else. And we don't speak the Queen's English either. Thank you very much. She can have it, as far as I'm concerned. Queen's English. All right, let's press on. We're going to, you heard off the top of the show there, a little shout out from Brendan. Let's turn you over to Lillian, who is going to have a little chat with Brendan about hurling, something that maybe a lot of you guys don't know about. Very interesting sport. It was popular in Newfoundland here for quite a while, but due to lots of politics and strange stuff between people of different religious stripes and so on and so forth, it kind of fell out of favor and disappeared, at least for a while, and seems to be under a process of revival, which is a very good thing. So Lillian will talk to Brendan about hurling, the sport of hurling, and then we'll take you on walkabout with Lillian and myself, as we generally tend to do. And I don't know, but this may possibly be... no, it won't. Okay. Of course it won't. I was going to say, this might possibly be the last walkabout with the R9, but that will not be the case because we have several walkabouts recorded. It's going to be interesting to see as time unfolds, because this stack of walkabouts that I have recorded, of course, once the weather kicks in, the winter weather that is, we can't do the walkabouts. And they're kind of a substantial part of the show. They're a part of the show that a lot of people tend to like, more so than me sitting here in the studio rambling. Some people don't mind that so much, thankfully. But people really enjoy the walkabout segments. And once the winter weather kicks in, it's not feasible for us to do those walkabout things, and then we're kind of stuck. The whole concept of doing a show then becomes very daunting. The idea of having to create content for the shows and not having that capability to just get out and walk about and chat and all that sort of stuff. It makes things very difficult. So we've recorded a whole bunch of them, and we just kind of got them sitting there in a basket. So it's kind of interesting. You're going to be hearing us probably at some point, when there's snow stacked up to the windows and the wind is howling and everything is icy and frozen. You're going to hear us out gleefully skipping along on these little walkabouts and stuff. So bear that in mind now. From this point on, you will be hearing us out on walkabout when we're actually probably snowed in. So that's kind of an interesting concept. I'm wondering what that's going to be like at some point. For example, in January, for us to be out walking about on these city streets and on these sidewalks, these clear sidewalks, and listening to us listening to ourselves doing that, knowing full well that we're actually pretty much covered in with a bunch of old snow and slush and things like that. So yes, indeed. Let's press on. This is episode 103, the Republic of Avalon Radio. I am Jim Fiddler, and this person coming up next after this little jingly bit will be Lillian Fiddler speaking with Brendan about hurling, and then us walking around and all kinds of things and stuff like that. So enjoy, and again, we always love to hear from you, so go over to our website, republicofavalonradio.com, and click on the PayPal button and make a donation. We're totally sponsor free, listener supported. That's always appreciated. My CDs are over there. Spread the music. It's that time of the year. Now's the time to order your CDs for Christmas and make sure that they get to you on time. And we also can send them to anyone you want. If you want somebody to have, if you want to buy a CD or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever for anybody, just let us know where to send it and we will gift wrap it, and Christmas paper and ribbon and all this stuff, and send it wherever you want. That's just a little something we do. We don't charge any extra for that or anything. It's just whatever the price of the CD is, then just let us know and we'll gift wrap it and send it to whomever you wish us to send it to. And of course, also on the website are all kinds of wonderful ways of getting in touch with us and leaving us your feedback as well. There's the Facebook group over there, and you can send us email. You can leave us voicemail on the Roar line, which is free to anybody who has Skype. You can just click. There's a button there. Click on it, and if you have Skype installed, it'll just automatically make the call for you. If not, there's a number there. The number is country code 1, area code 724-426-8176. I will repeat that, even though you could rewind it. Country code 1, area code 724-426-8176, and just leave us a message or send us an MP3. Record an MP3 or a WAV file, send it to us. We're open to Roar correspondence. If you want to be a Roar correspondent, New Zealand's Roar correspondent, or New York City's Roar correspondent, or Vancouver Island's Roar correspondent, whatever, you want to record a piece and send it in to us and share a bit about yourself and your life and where you live and all that kind of stuff. We're absolutely open to that, and we would welcome that, no problem. So there you have it. All right, on with the show, and enjoy. You are listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
This is Newfoundland's first podcast. You're with the Roar.
Hey, I'm listening to Republic of Avalon Radio. My name is Ursula. I'm Australian but living in London and totally loving Republic of Avalon Radio.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Either you're with us or you're with the terrorists.
You're with the Roar!
Okay, I'm outside of Aaron's pub right now, and I have with me a very special guest. We just met you tonight, and this is Brendan Toland, and you're from Ireland?
I'm from Ireland. I'm from County Donegal, and I'm here tonight with the Newfoundland Gaelic Games Association, holding a fundraiser in aid of our first hurling club, the St. John's GAA Club. GAA as in Gaelic Athletic Association. The Gaelic Athletic Association was formed on the 1st of November 1884 in Ireland, in Tipperary. And ironically, here in Newfoundland in the 1880s, that's when the game of hurling was being suppressed by the church because of faction fighting between the various Irish county immigrants that were here. And the game went into decline after that. And I've learned that it's been played here up until the 50s and 60s, but under the name of field hockey. It was kind of hiding in that form, and I came along last year, and I'd never played it before, but I'd always wanted to, and I started putting out the word, and people showed up, and we got to the position where we have a club, and we're hoping to form another one over the winter, maybe 2, and eventually have several, and a league that'll sustain the game, and that the game will go on for centuries more to come.
Wow.
I really hope so, anyway.
That's really wonderful that you're reviving it. A lot of people don't know much about hurling, but I didn't realize that it was actually, is it the same game really as field hockey that we play, or is it?
It's similar to field hockey. I imagine the field hockey evolved out of this game in the British Isles. The game of hurling in Ireland, it's the national sport along with Gaelic football. But hurling has the older pedigree, and it's first mentioned in Irish history 3,300 years ago at the Battle of Moytura in northwest Ireland. And 27 men were killed in that hurling match.
Oh my God.
And then in the following few days, like 4,000 people were killed. But in those days, people were playing several hundred aside. It was more like a battle.
Yeah, well, maybe that was a good thing, actually, to take a place of a battle. I don't know, like to play a game like that.
Well,
not that people get killed, but...
Yeah, it evolved into a form of martial arts training for warriors, and it's known today as a warrior sport. But it was safer giving people hurleys and sticks and balls and going out and playing with those rather than swords.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the stick that you use is very unique. I've never seen anything like that before.
Okay.
It's more round, like on the bottom, as opposed to like a hockey stick, which is got the rectangle. And field hockey, I think, is like a hockey stick.
And it's flat so that you can pick that ball up and run with it.
Oh, right.
And
it's like a spoon, sort of like not a real shape like a spoon. But
some people imagine it's like lacrosse, but there's no net on the end of it. It's just flat and a little bit sharp, and there's a bit of weight at that end, because when you take that strike of the ball, you want a bit of weight there just to give it more drive. And the stick is made of ash, which gives it a bit of flexibility.
Right, it's very light, I guess.
It's fairly light, yeah.
Well, so I guess you take the ball and just try to get it up into the other.
Yeah, the objective is to score the goal, and if you don't score but you get it over the bar, you get a point, and 3 points is equal to a goal. So the scoring is along the lines of goals dash points, and you could have maybe one goal, but you could have 17 points. So, and the other team could have one goal and 1 point. So it really works.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, you add up what it's all worth in terms of points.
I like that concept.
Yeah.
So is it pretty popular in Ireland right now?
It's huge in Ireland. We've just had the All-Ireland hurling final on Sunday, the first Sunday of September, and Kilkenny, the premier team in Ireland, had won it 4 times in a row, and they were going for the 5th time. It would have been a historic first if they had done it, but they were thwarted by Tipperary, the county that's the home of hurling in Ireland, where the GAA was formed.
That must have been quite the uproar.
Yeah, it was an electric match by all accounts, and there was really fast field work, furious field work all the way. And what was I going to say? Well, Tipperary have won it. They've taken it, but 82,000 people showed up to watch that match.
My goodness.
Just under 82,000 people.
Wow.
So that gives you some idea of how big it is in Ireland.
Yeah.
And it was played in Croke Park, which is the 3rd biggest stadium in Europe. So for an amateur sport, it's quite something.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I really hope that you're able to revive it. I know you have some other people, some of our friends actually, who are in the league, Michael Joyce and Zebby Bodman.
Sebastian Bodman, from Waterford, of course, I know him well.
Yeah, so I know that they're very excited about it. Like last year, I think was the first time we heard about it coming back. So that's great.
We played it last year as part of the Festival of the Sea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're having a fundraiser here tonight to, like, I guess you need money for uniforms.
We need money for uniforms, for insurance, for basic stuff like that, for getting spare hurleys for the club.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have a website?
We don't have a website, but we have a Facebook group.
Okay.
So if you go to St. John's GAA Club, GAA as in Gaelic Athletic Association.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, everybody please go over and become a member. I mean, all the support, even people that are members and can help out with just that way, to support the club would be nice too, I bet.
Yeah.
And if they're interested, come out to the games.
And if they're interested enough, get in touch with us and come along to practice this. Just come and see what the game is about, what it's like.
Absolutely.
See if it's for them.
Yeah.
And if it is, great.
Do you have the practices here in St. John's?
Yeah, our next practice is Tuesday coming at 6:45 down at Kitty Vitty below the army base.
Okay.
But the evenings are drawing in, so we're going to shift to Saturdays or Sundays.
Right.
We're currently playing 6 o'clock Saturdays at Swilers Rugby Club down at the lower field, but we may move to earlier in the afternoon, and we may move between Saturdays and Sundays, depending on the weather, of course. And we may be at Swilers or we may be down at Kitty Vitty.
Okay.
But if you get on our Facebook group, you'll find us.
Okay.
You'll find out how to get in touch.
Great. Well, really good luck with it.
Thank you, Lillian.
You never know, you might see us out some afternoon, hopefully. I'd love to check it out.
Yeah. Cheers,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been lovely talking to you, Lillian.
You too.
Thank you.
Hello there, here is MC from the VDC Scene From Here podcast, podcasting from Montreal. You are right now listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
Republic of Avalon Radio on your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch.
Really?
Available now in the iTunes App Store.
Right on.
Get it today.
Yeah.
Boom! Yes, indeed, you are with the roar. And I am Jim Fiddler, and this is Lillian Fiddler.
Hello.
Say hello to the folks.
Hello, folks.
There we go. And we are here now, walking along on Water Street. For any of you who have been here before, we are walking along Water Street, the west end of Water Street. Kind of approaching the overpass. That is where we are, folks. And it's that time of year, isn't it? You know, when all the summer stuff is fading away, all the swimming and picnicking and sleeping in tents and walking around with barely anything on, and you know, not having to wear big old heavy clothing. That's I really can't stand. I hate clothing, wearing big old coats and hats and scarves, mitts and things like that. In fact, in those regards, I am a total townie. I don't wear stocking caps. I don't wear scarves. I don't wear mitts. I don't wear winter boots. Very seldom will I wear winter boots. I just wear shoes, or you know, the townie as a creature, you know, as a species, is a kind of a sneakers all year round kind of beast, and that is me. I don't wear sneakers. I didn't even wear sneakers when I was a teenager. I always preferred shoes, you know, good, comfortable shoes. I'm having problems here, folks. It's called itchy nose. All right, I think I'm okay now. Yeah, so I don't know. Lillian seems to have a much more of a penchant for kind of blowing up twice her size with fabric in the wintertime.
That reminds me of the... oh my God.
What the hell?
That's a car with really bad shocks, I think.
It's not even just bad shocks. I think that's like, they're like down on their Like there's one, they got a tire with no air in it or something.
That was a newfound cab, actually.
Really?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
mind you, they have big craters in the road over there.
No, but that wasn't just
still,
that.
that's pretty bad.
No, what I was hearing.
Well,
Listen to this car. No problem.
No,
There was something wrong with that car.
for sure.
So there you have it. And it wasn't studs either.
No, it definitely wasn't studs.
Indeed, folks. So, yeah, big old clothing and stuff like that. I'm not into it. It's not that I'm totally impractical. If I had to go outside, see, that's the thing. I'm only kind of going to a car, getting in a car, driving somewhere, getting out of a car, going in somewhere else. I really don't see the need for, skidoo suits and stuff for stuff like that. You're just kind of going down some steps. Hey, who's that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it must have been somebody who knows us.
It could probably.
Well, why else would they blow at us?
I have no idea. Sometimes, well, it's like sometimes.
No, that wasn't that.
No?
No.
Okay. I guess I didn't catch the driver's face, actually.
Okay. It went by too fast.
Yeah.
You didn't have your mitt ready.
Right.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes. So, yeah. As I was saying, it's not that I'm impractical. If I were going out somewhere for an extended period of time, like if I knew we were going out in the middle of the winter and we were going to be outdoors, all day or something like that, I'd put on a sweater and probably a pair of gloves. And I don't know, that's probably about it.
I haven't seen you in a sweater very often.
No, I don't wear sweaters, no.
No, you don't do sweaters.
Don't do sweaters. I don't do mitts. I don't do wool hats. I don't do any of that stuff.
I do all that.
You do all of the above.
All in layers.
What is it about these girly types, hey, folks? These girly types, they all love their sweaters and things.
Yes.
What is it?
I don't know. It's sort of like I don't know.
Comfort.
It's comfort.
Blanket.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Sooky blanket kind of
like
thing.
Linus with his blanket.
Yes.
And
Lillianus with her blanket.
we like slippers and
and all that foolishness too.
Things.
Yeah.
Like fluffy house coats.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. What the heck? Jeez Louise, folks. In any case, some of the nice stuff, though, I find about, say, from August onward to October-ish, is kind of the harvest, when all the people starts, with raspberries and blueberries and things like that, various berries, on up through all the other stuff that people grow, all the fresh produce, all the carrots and turnips and potatoes and onions and just beets.
I love that.
And preparing stuff in the fall too. Moose, moose hunting season as well, that kind of stuff, depending on where you live, moose or deer or whatever. And I rather enjoy the stocking up for the winter, just sort of getting in all that stuff, and like bottling beets, for example. Pickling and bottling beets. Now, some of you will be thinking back of growing up, and having beets, Sunday dinner and having beets on the plate with the rest of the dinner and all that. And some of you will be saying to yourselves, pickled beets, what the heck is he talking about? Mm-hmm. And some of you will be going, yuck. Because I'll tell you, I've tasted the ones you get in the store, that are just, whatever, made in factories, whatever. They're not very good at all. Just really, even I would say bordering on nasty. Just like, ugh, what's the point of that? I don't like those at all. But studs, Yeah, there goes a car with studs on. What kind of a car was that? Was that another taxi?
Taxi, yeah.
Yeah, going around with studded tires on. What kind of a taxi? Did you see?
Gulliver's.
Citywide.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, very smart. Going around with studded tires. Tally ho. What the heck is that?
Oh, it's a big truck.
Yeah, sounds like that's falling apart too. Folks, what's going on tonight? Very dodgy sort of sounding automobiles. More studs. What's that?
That's a taxi as well.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of a taxi?
That's a Northwest maybe.
Okay. Cabs going around with studded tires. That makes no sense. Anyway, whatever floats their boat, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, so anyway, the beets thing. Yeah, pickled beets. You want a good recipe for pickled beets, the best, yummiest pickled beets, and you can't go wrong. And they will be the best you ever had. Lillian would have no problem giving you her recipe.
Yeah.
So if you want the recipe for that or anything else we mentioned, just let us know. And it's either a secret or it's not. And in the case of the beets, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's really not a secret.
No,
Her
it's
beets,
pretty easy, really.
her beets can't be beat. Well, they can be beat. In fact, they are beat.
We enjoyed our beets last year, didn't we?
We did, and this year, we're actually going to be bottling our own beets because we actually grew beets this year for the first time. So we won't even be going out to any supermarkets anywhere, buying beets, wondering where they came from. None of that stuff. We'll be actually pickling our own.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah. So, next spring sometime, we'll be still sitting down to a meal and having beets,
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funky.
It's very funky. And what about our tomatoes?
Well, that's very exciting because
That's very exciting.
the tomatoes are in their multiplicity at this point, aren't they?
They are.
How many?
We have 8 plants.
Yeah.
And each one of them is about 3 to 4 feet high.
Uh-huh.
And each one of them has around, so far,
10 plus?
10 plus, like 10 to 15 tomatoes on it that are growing, but lots more room for
more growth.
Others coming out too. So
wow.
We're going to have a lot of tomatoes.
Cool. So we're going to be bottling a lot of tomatoes. That's the thing, because most of what you do with tomatoes, a lot of what you do with tomatoes, is using them for salsas and chili, making chili and goulash and things like that. So when we harvest those tomatoes, we're going to have more than we could eat in the space of time that they would stay fresh. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bottle them, and then we'll be making our own salsa and chili using our own tomatoes and things like that. We'll eat some fresh though.
Yeah, we're going to have
first.
The wickedest batch of salsa.
Oh yeah.
The first harvest, maybe we'll make a big batch.
And we've got our own hot pepper as well.
Yeah, one hot pepper.
One hot pepper. Yeah.
So that's going in the chili for sure.
Although that's one plant, I mean, you might pull that up and that might be like a dozen hot peppers. Because a lot of hot peppers are really long and skinny.
Uh-huh.
Who says it's just one hot pepper? I don't know. What grows underneath the ground?
Oh no, it doesn't grow underneath the ground.
It doesn't?
No.
Oh.
It's grow. I can see it. It comes out like tomatoes, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How big is our hot pepper now?
It's big. Like it's about 2.5 inches long. But those things don't get very big.
No?
No.
Okay.
They're just small.
Okay.
And what else do we have?
Well, we've got our own green onions, and we've talked about all that before here.
Garlic. Garlic's the only thing we haven't tried yet.
No, we've had the chives.
Yeah, nice.
That was good.
I put some in the chili today.
Yes, Lillian made some lily chili, and so that was very good, indeed. So, this whole business about in the autumn, kind of stocking up. It's a good idea to have food, beyond tomorrow. So, at any given point in time, you have to ask yourself, if I couldn't get any food into this house, how long, could we go and eat? How long could we go for? I mean, some people's answer to that is, not past dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good situation to be in. When all's said and done, when this fall comes and goes, we should be pretty good in terms of the combination of all the various things. One thing that Lillian makes that's very good are these meat cakes, and they're the easiest thing in the world to make. So I'm going to just pass the machine here over to Lillian and let her tell you basically how to make these meat cakes. And I'm telling you, they're the most delicious thing, simplest thing. And the whole idea is, in terms of this fall thing, is to make a dirty big batch of them. And then you separate them with pieces of, sheets of wax paper, and then put them up in a big Ziploc bag, and then you can just take them as you need them. And they're the easiest thing to make a quick meal whenever you want. So I'll just pass over to Lillian here, and she will tell you. Here.
Okay.
Go.
All right, here we go. Meat Cakes 101.
Meat Cakes 101. Is that a term of endearment? Hey there, meat cakes. Probably not.
No, all you meat cakes out there.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, well, the ingredients are
potatoes.
Potatoes. I like to use red potatoes. I find red potatoes are, I don't know, they're good for everything. The taste and the texture and everything are really good. And
so get some red potatoes.
Red potatoes, onion.
Yeah,
and
just like white onion, regular normal sort of onion.
Mm-hmm. And a tin of corned beef.
Yes. Now, what kind of corned beef do we use?
Well,
because they're not the same. I noticed the last time you made them. I don't think that was the old Trusty. I think that was some kind of other brand.
I kind of think they're all from the same place.
I don't know.
Because they have the exact same tin, and it's a very unique tin.
Okay.
It's like, I've never seen anything in this kind of tin before.
Okay, by the way, folks, when we say tin, we mean a can for you American listeners. We don't say can. We don't say can, we say tin. To us, a can is like a garbage can.
Yes.
And anyway.
So the tin or the can, I got a rock in my sandal.
This is a very strange night so far. I don't know what's going on.
So, yeah, the can or the tin that it comes in has a key. You know those tins that have keys?
Mm-hmm.
They're really interesting.
Those cursed things.
Yeah, the cursed things, absolutely. Because, as you know, if you break that key, it can be pretty hard to get into that tin.
Yeah. You can get tinned ham like that, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so a tin of that. How many potatoes?
Okay, a tin of that, I would say about four good-sized potatoes, not small.
All right.
And peel your potatoes, cut them up, and boil them.
Yeah.
Until they're done. And,
boil
and
them
then,
for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and then you mash up your potatoes.
With?
Just a masher. Oh, with butter.
How much butter? About the size of an egg?
Yeah, about the size of an egg.
Okay. Bit of salt?
Bit of salt
bit of
and
pepper.
Yeah.
How much salt? How much pepper?
Half teaspoon of salt and like quarter teaspoon of pepper.
Okay.
Something like that.
All
and
right. And milk.
And a bit of milk too.
How much milk?
Quarter of a cup of milk.
Okay.
We used like 2% milk, something like that.
Well, it's best to use whole milk.
Actually,
best.
Yeah.
You don't get that. You don't get 2% milk, do you?
No, I don't.
Why'd you say
that?
that?
I don't know why I was thinking that then.
Well,
it's not 2%.
That was a weird, sort of strange thing to say.
Yeah. Anyway, it's whole milk.
Okay.
And in the meantime, while you're boiling the potatoes, you could be frying up your onions. So you
dice your onions.
Dice your onion. I'd say one kind of medium-sized onion.
Okay.
Dice that up and fry it. I usually fry it in butter.
Okay.
And then when you got your mashed potatoes and add your onion in, and then...
Well, no. First you want to mash the potatoes with the salt, pepper, butter, and milk.
Right.
And you can even whip them, like using a beater, that kind of thing. Like if you got a mix master kind of thing, you can do your potatoes like that, and they'll be nice and creamy.
Yeah,
that's a good way to go.
And so add your onions. And
mix the onions all through after they're fried. Yep.
You also take the meat out of the can and put it in a bowl and mash that up so it's not got too many lumps or anything in it.
Yeah, you break it all up into little pieces, mash it up.
And then
little darling.
Add that into your potatoes and your onions.
Mix it all together.
Mix it all together. Oh, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Mix it all up and get your frying pan ready.
Iron frying pan, preferably.
Iron frying pan, and turn it up to like medium high.
Mm-hmm.
Get it nice and hot.
Yep.
And then add some butter.
Yep.
And when that starts going nice and
getting hot.
Yes. Then make patties out of your mixture.
Uh-huh.
And I actually have a plate of flour set aside, and I kind of take the patty and sort of dip one side of it in the flour so it'll stick right away.
Yep.
To the mixture.
Yep.
And then just put it in the frying pan. And I usually get 3 or 4 in the pan at one time. And
I might suggest as well, in the flour, if you wanted to, you could add a few, like a bit of cornmeal or some breadcrumbs, and another little bit of seasoning of some kind if you wanted, like another little bit of salt, maybe a different type of pepper. Maybe you've put black pepper in them, and you might put a bit of white pepper with the flour. If you wanted to, you could do that.
That's a great idea. We should try that.
Okay.
How come we haven't tried that?
I don't know. But I would avoid like onion powder and garlic powder and things like that. I would avoid that stuff. That stuff's nasty.
So you let it cook on each side probably 10 minutes, I guess, on each side. So it's nice. It's a bit crispy on the outside.
You want it to be crispy.
Yeah.
It's funny because it'll get crispy and you'll flip it over, and you'll notice when you'll come back a couple of minutes or after a couple of minutes more cooking, what was crispy will get soft again.
Yeah.
They're funny like that.
Yeah, it does take quite a while to cook them if you're cooking a lot, especially.
Yeah, and if you turn them down to like a medium heat and cook them for a longer period of time, they tend to be really good like that.
Yeah, I would say probably even just 5 minutes if it's a higher heat, and
flip and 5 again.
Yeah, and
then turn it down.
If you're gonna have it on a lower heat, then cook it a bit longer.
Okay.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I usually put a little dab of ketchup on them.
A little bit of ketchup, and away you go. And it's like a whole meal. You can have with it. You can have some beets and/or pickles and some buttered bread and whatever you want with it. But it's your meat and potatoes and everything all in the one sort of thing. So you don't need, obviously you don't need to have meat with it, and you don't need to have potatoes with it. So it's kind of a very nice thing. And like I said, if you take these and separate them with wax paper after they're cooked, let them cool off, separate them with wax paper, and put them in a Ziploc, put them in your freezer. Whenever you want a bite to eat, you can just whip out a couple of those and flick them in the frying pan, just to warm them up and brown them up a little bit, and your little lick of ketchup, and away you go. I mean, I don't know if see, here's the thing. You might think, well, I don't like corned beef, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to explain, but it's totally different in this context. It's totally different, so.
It's a nice, like Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said, if you think you might not be fussy about corned beef, doesn't matter, because it's totally different in these meat cakes. It doesn't taste like corned beef. There's no sort of corned beef anything about it. What they really are, they're very much kind of like fish cakes in a way.
Yeah.
But instead of fish, we're using the corned beef.
Same principle, really,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of people call it bully beef.
Bully beef, that's what we call it.
Very, very popular item here in
Yes.
Newfoundland.
Yeah, bully beef.
Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah.
Grew up on it, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I never had meat cakes growing up, though. Did you?
Oh God, yes.
Really?
That's why we have them now.
I've never. No, you were the first person that introduced me to them for sure.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And I suppose when I first started talking about it, when I first told you about it, you were probably kind of like, oh God.
I was, yeah.
What the heck's that all about?
I was not sort of like mouth-watering or anything like that.
But I'll tell you, they're so delicious. Even if you're usually like a one-plate person, don't be surprised if you go back for a second plate of these.
Yeah, they're very easy to eat for sure.
Very, very easy to eat. Very yummy.
Yeah.
So we're just about to kind of come up to and pass through the very loud section.
Yes.
So, will we? Yeah, we'll just carry on.
Yeah. Okay.
I was half tempted to just
What?
mix it out. Yeah, let's skip it. Okay, folks, we're going to skip the loud part and then
Carry on after.
the loud part.
Okay.
All right. So take my jacket. And I'll
Very loud, isn't it?
Oh well, we're not even into it yet.
That's the levee.
Is it? Hey. Who's playing in there?
I don't know. What a cacophony.
Rapers, they're playing Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, be careful here.
So it seems these days to be a Celtic band, all you got to do is just play music and have like someone twiddling on a mandolin and it's suddenly Celtic music. Great. Okay, here we go. All right, here we are. We just passed the cacophony, which is, well, the mixture of a few places. You know, there's Shamrock City and the Levee and what else?
I think it was just those two, actually.
Okay, but mucho racket.
Big racket.
And we don't know who's playing at Shamrock City, but it seems to me that these days, all you need to be qualified as a Celtic band, that they were playing, I don't know, Don't Stop Believing, or something or other. I mean, so to qualify now as a Celtic band, all you got to do is, it doesn't matter what you play, just as long as someone's like twiddling on a mandolin or something, and suddenly it's Celtic music. Which is kind of interesting because the mandolin is an Italian instrument, so. Hey, I don't know, folks. You go to an Irish pub. See, here's the thing. Somebody might think of me and say, you know, well, what's your thing? Now, see, this is kind of sensible here. Hey, cool. A little bit of banjo and whistle in the street there going by. Did you recognize who they were?
I did. The girl I recognized from, she comes in errands every now and then.
Okay.
I didn't recognize the guy, but...
Okay. Yeah, tenor banjo and a bit of D whistle. I'm not sure what kind of a whistle it was. Didn't sound like a generation to me.
It looked like a Sasato, actually.
A Sasato?
It could have been, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a generation either.
All right. But yeah, okay, so where do I stand on all this? Well, I'm a very open-minded person, as many of you might be aware. I like all kinds of different music and all kinds of different people and so on, all kinds of different food and whatever. But at the same time, when you have people going for an experience, if you're going to be going to, you know, an Irish pub, for example, a place that advertises themselves as such, hey, I think you probably want to hear Irish music, but it seems more and more now that when you go to an Irish pub, you're probably just as likely, or maybe, I don't know, these days almost more often, to hear, you know, some kind of pop music or retro retro music from the 70s or 80s. And a lot of it kind of done tongue-in-cheek. Like, oh, isn't that funny? They're doing a song from, a pop song from 1978. Ha, ha, ha. Well, I don't know what's so ha, ha, ha about it. Music is music, and you either respect it or you don't. And going out making money off of somebody else's music, not paying them any royalties and turning it into a farce, to me seems, I don't know, it doesn't get a big ha-ha from me.
No.
The heck? Some girl singing dirty songs, apparently, over at what? Stetson, is it?
Stetson, yeah.
Well, there we have it. It's all going to heck in a handbasket, folks. And now they're going to Jackson and they're playing the solo part from Folsom Prison Blues. All right. Sure. No, anything goes.
And here
Whatever.
we have some guys doing chin-ups.
Guys doing chin-ups.
Chin-ups on the scaffolding.
Right, let's not stand underneath that while this is going on, okay? Can we walk out and around?
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, we can't actually.
Okay. Are we going around or what? What?
We have to go through.
Okay. Yay. Chin up, lads. Okay, go.
Thanks, guys.
Go. Okay. Yeah, I don't like being under a scaffold while people are like deliberately tugging and swinging from them and so on. What seems to be going on here? Dinker. Yeah. Here we have it.
Okay.
A little bit of a testosterone party on the go.
Look at that on the go tonight, it seems.
Yes. So what was I talking about? Oh, the music thing, yeah. What's the point in having a country bar if you're going to book a bunch of heavy metal bands, or having an Irish pub if you're going to be booking a bunch of people singing pop songs and retro rock? And I don't get it. Folk music has been in Irish pubs for a long time, so anything that kind of qualifies as folk music, I guess, can make its way in there. I think you can get away with, Redemption Song by Bob Marley. I think you can do that quite easily. I think something like, if you wanted to do, I don't know, Will the Circle Be Unbroken or something, you could get away with that. And depending, there's lots of leeway to move in all directions. But when the majority of what the person does, it's not a song here or there or whatever, when the majority of what the group is doing is, they're just throwing in a whiskey in the jar every now and again, just to kind of, I don't know. To me, it's different, and it can't be easy either, because if that's what you're doing as a band, you need places to play. And if you kind of have a mandolin in the band and you're doing whatever, probably the rock clubs don't want you. So the only... We have another cacophony here, folks. What is that all about? Okay, folks, finally, as of tonight, I'm getting old. I just, I never felt any twinge up until just now. Finally getting to that point. But, I am very much in favor of anything goes. I think it's interesting when a band will throw something at you, a band or any performer, kind of unexpected. So, you'll have a folk singer who you think is just going to sing a whole bunch of folk songs, a white folk singer or whatever, and then they'll do a really, really amazing version of an old, what they call Negro spiritual or something like that. Or, whatever. But when groups start kind of like taking the mickey out of stuff, you got a bluegrass band on stage and they're doing their thing, and then suddenly they start playing Motley Crue or something. It's just, I don't know, I just don't find it funny.
No. I'm wondering if it's one of those nights.
Full moon things or something?
Yeah.
It sort of seems to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Oh well. So we're
just about there.
We're just destinating here, folks. So my whole thing about that is, pretty much anything goes, but there's such thing as common sense too. So anyway, there you have it. The chill is in the air.
Oh my God, some quiet in
and all of that stuff. So we will bid you adieu.
Adieu.
Which, by the way, if you don't know what that means, because a lot of people don't. Adieu, it's actually adieu, which means with God or whatever, and the same thing as adios. People say adios, as in adios, but it's adios. It's the same thing as adieu. Adios, yeah, it means, go with God. God bless you. All the best, that kind of thing.
Adieu to go with God.
Yes, exactly. All right, folks, so we'll take care of each other and we'll catch you on the next go-around.
Okay, bye everybody.
A Root Cellar production.